This video I will talk about COVID infection, and this is Salim bin Rafi. You have been watching my religious videos on the Holy Quran. All 30 paras have already been on the YouTube for the whole month of Ramadan. There has been an enormous interest in that. This was the English translation, which was primarily put together for non-Muslims, but all Muslims during the month of Ramadan uh, listen to this, and I hope they benefited. And since currently COVID infection is all over the world, it is a pandemic, and this was declared by World Health Organization in 2020 as a pandemic. Ever since, it has put brakes not only on the lifestyle of our people, on the economy, and it has put brakes even in those countries where the GDP was uh, exponentially growing. Pakistan is one of those countries in which we were struggling with economic matters, but this infection brought misery, especially to the lower edge of the people who are poor and who are struggling to make ends meet. COVID infection, as we know that there are hundreds and thousands of coronaviruses present in the world. Most of these coronas or virus are present in animals like pigs, like cats, like bats, and unless we interfere with their life and we start in our food chain eating these birds or these animals, we will not have a crossover of the virus from animals to human. And this is what happened in 2019 in China, where it started from a village. I give you a brief history of how the COVID infection started. In 2002, SARS virus appeared, and SARS virus or COVID 1 was limited to about 8,000 people. And out of 8,000 people, 775 died. This infection was contained, and by 2004, there was no SARS patient. After that, in 2012, MERS virus, and the MERS stands for M for Middle, E for East, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. This infection was found, or this particular virus was found in camels, and it was also contained in Middle East, and it did not become a pandemic. MERS virus and SARS virus were the two viruses which actually bothered the health system in the whole world. So the researchers started to find cure, the therapeutics, diagnostics, and the various vaccines for that. In 2019, we had the emergence of COVID 19 or this coronavirus infection. This coronavirus infection became pandemic because it crossed the borders and it affected millions of people. This was an eye opener to the whole world that how interdependent we are in health matters, in food matters, and even we depend on each other. And due to travel from one country to the other, which has been made so easy by air travel, the infection spread rapidly. And we are facing on the consequences of that particular infection. But one thing good I want to convey to the public is that side by side vaccines have been developed much faster. So have been therapeutics. Antiviral drugs like remdesivir are in use. So are steroids, dexamethasone. And on the preventive side, it has been my personal experience of 48 years in health sciences that if prophylactically you are taking immune boosters like vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D3, and you are taking enteric coated acetyl salicylic acid or so called aspirin. They are protective and it boosts our immune system. And there is a lot of, I think, propaganda against the vaccine. The vaccine, like for instance, Sinopharm, where bacteria or the virus is killed by a chemical, and then the and vaccine is produce antibodies. It is attenuated. It cannot produce disease, but it can trigger the immune reaction in a human body and give us antibodies which fight against the virus which attacks, and it prevents us from severity of disease and death. You will also find that I have given a small little animated cartoon just to make you understand how this virus, which is the messenger RNA, this affects, and how the spike proteins on the virus, they negotiate the host cells, enter the host cells, they replicate, and then they destroy. Thank you. I wait for my next video.